David Beidel. I'm the president of Urban Hope and Saturate New York City. We had a terrible situation in our neighborhood where one 17-year-old boy that we've known since he was about 10 murdered another. We had ministered to the family, both families in different ways, but they were really families in a lot of trouble. And it was devastating in the community. It was actually kids that grew up together, so it blew up our neighborhood in a horrible way. We held a funeral at the church, but we knew that we needed to do more for the 18 and under crowd in our neighborhood, and it had always been hard to reach them. We had different strategies that were not quite working, where we were reaching a minority, but in no way a critical mass, you might say, of neighborhood teens. And so I remember distinctly, I was in the neighborhood ministering. I would often walk through the housing projects, visit door to door, and just get to know that it was like a present pastor in the neighborhood. And it was tough because sometimes the kids that I had even known since they were 8 years old would ignore me when they saw me because they knew they didn't want to see me because maybe they're dealing drugs, maybe they're in a gang. So it was uncomfortable. But at one point I looked at a young man. I said, "Hey man, we're thinking of starting a basketball league." And he said, "Pastor Dave, I'll get you 3 teams." And I looked at him and I said, "Wow." So immediately, as soon as I said the word basketball league, it was like there was immediate response from this age group, which is the hardest to reach in any city. And there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of kind of the culmination of a broken home usually comes to full fruition at that age, between 15 and 18. So we knew that God was opening a door, so we went through it. And we knew that God was opening a door, so we went through it. And we started the league in our parking lot. There was also a lot of community tension because it was right in the wake of the Eric Garner shooting, and so there was police community tension and just an incredible. I don't know, it felt like the whole neighborhood would blow up with one spark. That with one spark could blow up the North Shore of Staten Island. And so we knew that if the church doesn't step in and speak peace in Jesus' name, we didn't know what could happen. So we started the league, we worked with the community police, and it was just a nice way to see the church become a nexus for connectivity in the community. We started to work with neighborhood coaches who we found to be real community heroes, and those that were really in deeper relationship with some of the young men than almost anybody. And so we all worked together. It was a strong coming together of the community for this purpose. And immediately we had about 200 young men that started playing ball with us, and we would share the gospel, we would do devotions, and we just saw God doing something special. And even since then, the crime across the entire North Shore has gone down considerably. And so we see that as the church steps in, as we do our part, as we work together, God does mighty things. And then it was just a real dream to say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if our league kind of had an invitation, called an invitational to the other leagues, other ministry leagues in New York City. We said, why don't we just have a 5-borough invitational? My dear friend, Pastor Mallory Jean-Pierre in Brooklyn said, yeah, let's do this. And he had some real strong relationship with the Barclay Center. We made some phone calls, and all of a sudden, there we were having our championship game at the Barclay Center. So it blew up to be a really sweet thing for all these young people across the city. It gave them a chance to be on this on a platform that you dream of. So it's kind of a dream come true scenario, and a bringer of hope, a bringer of hope for kids that had often lost hope. And one of the most dangerous things in the world is to have no hope, because the hopeless are the most dangerous to themselves and to those around them. So we feel that hope is springing up in these neighborhoods, and more and more leagues are joining in. So it's been an exciting thing to say, hey, whatever league you got, whatever borough you're in, we'll just have an invitational. We'll all come together, have a championship game. The long-term dream is to solve the problem of disconnected, or some people say opportunity youth in New York City, where those that are without a high school education and without a job, so basically uneducated, unemployed, they're in a very dangerous situation. Some say 200,000 to 300,000 young men, especially in New York City, are in that boat. And that's a community that it's going to take more than one basketball league to handle. And so what we're communicating with all of the leagues we're partnering with is to say, we should do this fun thing where we get together to play ball with all the sports-based ministries, and have these opportunities for girls, for guys, for next year we're hoping to do this at this level with the women's basketball. We have a women's basketball league also, in young women's basketball league. But the overarching dream is, what if we all of those that are playing ball together and all of our connections, we could pool all of our best practices and our what's working best, our resource streams, to say, how can we crack the nut of education and employment for the disconnected or the opportunity youth of New York City. So that's the dream, and we're seeing God beginning to bring all those pieces together. So we're very excited about it.